Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's edition of the Whitfield Report. I am your host, Sam Whitfield, broadcasting live here from NGC Studios here in South Florida. And I want to thank you so very much for joining me here tonight. Let me just plug in my laptop real quick. We've got plenty of battery, but I might as well plug it in now just because I know the applications I'm running are battery heavy, so excuse my off-camera reach for a sec. If I had a as I was saying, if I had a producer, they would be doing this for me. I should have just plugged it in beforehand, but anyway, folks, welcome to the show. And for tonight's podcast, we were supposed to have Matt Dallas on the program to talk about Star Wars, but Matt is predisposed for the evening, so instead I'm going to be talking with Apex Gamma about just about movies, politics, pop culture. We have OJ's What Bronco and On Tap on Skype. Hey, On Tap, if you want to jump in here on Skype, I can give you my handle. But anyway, yeah, I know a bunch of new people are joining here. So Apex Gamma will be joining me via Skype whenever he's ready. In the meantime, let me run down the contact info as usual. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at somebody_NGC. Hashtag Whitfield Report. You can also follow the Whitfield Report on Twitter at Whitfield Report. You can follow me on Gab and Minds at Sam Whitfield. Facebook.com/Whitfield Report. And thesamwhitfield.com for all your needs. And also iTunes, Spotify, all of that jazz. You know where to find me on the audio podcast feed. And yeah, thanks for joining me. And so Jason from On Tap says he's a few beers in. Well, let me, if I can get this to work. I've actually got a beer too, and actually I pre-gamed tonight too, so I've already had a couple beers. That's admittedly why I'm late, because I'm Irish, so, well, I'm part Irish. I'm also part Italian, so, yeah, I know you have needs, OJ's White Bronco, so, anyway. Oh, this will make a great, gag, reel, too. Me trying to open up the bottle with my crippled hands. Tonight's podcast is not officially sponsored by what is this? Goose IPA from Chicago. See, I'm even blanking on my, what beer I have. So, and, oh yeah, Goose Island. And it's, 6.5 alcohol too. Wow, no wonder I was buzzed last night. But anyway, Apex Gamma is waiting for us, so I'm gonna go ahead and dial him in here on Skype, and we will connect.
Hi, Sammy.
Hey, Apex, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing quite well, buddy. How are you this evening?
good. Can people hear Apex in the Oh, hang on. For some reason, it's not working, and yeah, I'll send you my, Skype thing. Okay, we're gonna add this. Hopefully it'll work. Uh, yeah, well, if that happens, I'm gonna have to quit this whole stream. So, oh, okay. Can people hear Apex Gamma or not? This will be the biggest, mess up with my broadcast software. Everything was working fine when I started this, so. OJ's what Ronka says. All I can hear are blood-curdling screams. Are you? Are you tuned into the right stream, OJ? At least you're not hearing goats behind you. So okay. Yeah. I guess the YouTube masters, or the rather the Ecamm masters, don't want to hear from you, Apex, and that saddens me. I have no idea why. Um, yeah, and I'm acting like a boomer. Let me quit Skype and bring it back in. So, yeah. So stand by. Technical difficulties, folks. Very bad. Not cool. Not Trumpular at all. Oh, and of course, Skype wants me to force quit. So, hooray, folks! You're watching Sam do his own tech support. This is lovely. Today was a bad day to stop sniffing glue. Just kidding. Referencing airplane there for you Zoomers there who don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, I just forced... Okay. There we go. Thank you. I just wanted to quit Skype was all. Okay. See, this is the problem. Like, Skype is the one VoIP software that integrates with Ecamm, but yet Skype is also made by Microsoft, and I'm on a Mac. And Hangout is shut down now, so I am forced to use this. Oh, are we back? Okay, I'm seeing the Skype window now. So, yeah, great radio, Sammy. Your subs are gonna go through the roof.
Yellow.
Okay, we can finally hear you, I think. So.
I hope so.
All right.
I was looking forward to it.
All right, yay! Finally, the people I think can hear you. So, but right now, because your camera's not on, all the people see is just like a Skype window. But that's fine. You don't need to share your face because you're, well.
I'm a gamma, bro. I'm also driving, and I don't have my fucking headset. I would totally do video. I'm not afraid. I mean, my face has been on my channel before.
Wait,
So
wait, really? How have I not seen that then?
you have. I was going to Ursa Manor to rescue Alan Powell from underneath one of Owen's fence posts. That's when you
Yes.
first subscribed to my channel, actually, back in the day.
So also the folks from On Tap, I'll get them on here in a sec. I've referenced Jayson and Tate. Jayson is the one who found me after the Ben Shapiro interview, which I'm going to re-upload by popular request here soon. Although the audio is terrible because I recorded it on Blog Talk Radio a long time ago, but they're going to be joining us. So
Sweet.
for the folks who are sick of just seeing my face, don't worry. You're gonna see better looking faces than mine. So,
I don't think anybody's sick of your face, man.
well, I know that Owen probably is, but
I'm sick of Owen's face, but that's a totally different ballpark there, man.
yeah. I still share the porcelain documentary about Owen. It's amazing. So
That is like magnum opus level.
that's like my only legit acting credit there. I was there for like 3 seconds in that movie, but it's on my IMDb page, so there you go.
Heck yeah.
Uh, okay. Do I want to dox my Skype handle on a stream?
Probably not.
Probably
I mean,
not.
yeah, I would say probably not. Just I'm sure if there's not already, there will be bears watching
Okay.
undercover.
Okay. Um. Well, On Tap just doxed their Skype, so I'll add
Oh,
them.
fuck.
I well, the thing of it is the chat disappears after the replay anyway, so no one's gonna see it.
Oh,
So yeah. Um. I mean, as long as no one has, well, we're not gonna get,
don't give him ideas, Sam. Don't give him ideas.
yeah. So okay, come on, come on. So anyway, Apex, what's going on in your world while we're waiting?
Well, in true boomer fashion, I am leaving my bowling league, which I realistically only do because my girlfriend is like a fucking professional bowler. She won like couple of regional tournaments. She's been bowling since she was like 6. She's really good, and we don't have a whole lot of common interests. I don't bowl. I've never bowled in my fucking life, but I'm good at things. So, so I signed up for like a mixed bowling league with her a while back, and
Okay,
once a week guarantees us at least a couple of hours together. So that's what I'm doing. I'm actually driving back from that as we speak right now.
now
And then
you're not actually a boomer. I mean,
no,
you're,
no,
but
I'm a what would I be? I guess I would be like I think I'm a millennial.
yeah, millennials are the new boomers, though, as I got told by a 19-year-old Zoomer, though, today. So
Yeah,
we're
no, I'll be 33 this year. I was born in the mid '80s, so yeah, I'm not. I'm like right. I'm a little bit younger than Owen, who is also a millennial, as far as I know. But either way, that's the other thing that's going on in my world. I got that most recent strike, which was my like last and final before they delete my channel. So I've taken an extended hiatus. The 2 mandatory weeks of no uploading, and then I've been able to upload for a couple of days now. I uploaded the Justice for Johnny Arcade 2 video when his fucking channel went down again.
oh
Which,
yes, I
yeah,
forgot. No wonder I'm not enraged. Yeah, Johnny Arcade's channel. For those of you who don't know, the one guy who's been documenting Owen's LARPing into the conservative movement and exposing him as a fraud got kicked off YouTube. Meanwhile, Owen is still free to do whatever he wants, while Gavin McGinnis and, Crowder and all the legit conservatives are permabanned off YouTube. It's bizarre.
Yeah,
But,
blacklisted and shit. But yeah, no, that was pretty infuriating for me too, because I mean, it seems pretty clear to me that it's a play by his new inner circle of bears. Maybe not inner circle, but he's got a group. I mean, I've got some regulars in my comments. They've gone back videos, 2-3 months and are commenting shit. And it's always the same 3 or 4 people, and they seem pretty militant. So it seems pretty clear to me that we're both he and I, and anybody else really, are getting mass flags that are naysayers of Owens. But Johnny in particular, I mean, what I do, as most of you and you especially, Sam, know, I do the shitty little clips and I give some commentary, and very rarely do I have the wherewithal to go back and find old clips of him contradicting, what he said today, or you know what I'm saying, whatever. Like he'll say something today, and I'll find something from a week ago that he said that is 100% contradictory. Whereas Johnny's been in the game a lot longer, and he's much better at it than me. And he's been, I mean, he was on a roll. Some of his best videos that he'd done to date on either his, original Johnny channel and Johnny Arcade 2, he was really killing it. And then all of a sudden, strike. And not only did he get his channel deleted, his first channel just got deleted, the first Johnny Arcade channel. This one, they permabanned him. His IP is not allowed to own any other channels, which there are ways around, obviously, but it's still a pretty extreme measure. And it's under the guise of, calling for violence and demonizing groups of people and shit, all the things that Owen actually does, and Johnny and myself to a much lesser extent are trying to expose. We're the ones getting hit for it because we highlight all the negative, and instead of doing the multi-hour fucking rants like Owen. But either way, whether he's got people directly covering his ass or indirectly covering his ass, it seems pretty clear to me that there's something going on there. Not to get all conspiracy minded on it, because people have been saying that for as long as my channel's been up. Oh, he's a honeypot. He's this, that, and the other. He's being used to gather intel on, potential extremist right wingers, and it just seems more and more plausible as time goes on. Because at this point, if I get another strike, Apex Gamma's gone. I've got the Reloaded. I've got an Apex Redneck channel that I'm working on. I'm going to try to do some Owen stuff with some other random shit, because I like talking in my old Southern accent. It's really funny to me, anyway. And then Apex Gamma's Revenge is going to be one too.
I think
they go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think they've been trying to find like stuff of mine, and all they can find is like me doing like movie reviews and whatnot as of late. So
yeah, right. Yeah, and but basically, I've taken a little bit of I was banned from uploading videos for 2 weeks, and that was up 3 or 4 days ago. And I've honestly kind of put it all on the back burner just because I've had some medical issues, both myself and family members, and I've been really busy with the new job. We opened a new store, and it's just really, really, really hectic. And I've just been, especially once Johnny got taken down, it's been really demoralizing. I never at any point did I think that what I was doing was gonna really affect any actual change. But I hoped, at least on an individual level, like I've said more than once, I know the power that one video of Owen contradicting himself can be to to people that are stuck in his little cult, because I was there once, and that's all I really want to do, and have some fun while I do it. But it becomes a lot less fun when hundreds of videos that you've put up, or in Johnny's case, literal thousands of videos are just wiped from the internet. So I'm just kind of I'm on the fence about how to move forward. I would really like to put some more effort into it and make do some proper edits. And it's actually been suggested that because
Your
we throw our intro, our slash intro, and then we just post. What's up?
Oh, I was just saying you were glitching out there for a sec.
Oh, sorry. I think because Johnny and I just upload Owen's clips, we put our the beginning, and then it's just Owen talking. I think that's why they're able to hit us with impunity, because we don't have any kind of disclaimers, verbal or otherwise. So I'm thinking about doing that, making up a written disclaimer and like a little verbal disclaimer to put at the beginning of every fucking video that, this channel does not condone the words of this man. It's a form of, some form of journalism or whatever, trying to document shit. I don't think that that'll make much of a difference, but that's the one thing that people keep saying. They're like, well, it looks like you're just, highlighting all the negative and leaving out. I get accused of taking Owen out of context all the time and editing his words all the time, both of which I never do. Out of context, maybe you could say, but I actually put extra effort into making sure that he's in context, so that you can hear his full thought from start to finish. And I've never
Hey,
ever
Sam?
done.
Hey,
Oh.
Tate, how you doing,
Hey,
man?
what's up?
We're good. How are you?
Good. So, sorry to cut you off, Apex. I was trying to get. Boy, I've not introduced guests properly at all for this show. But,
It's all good. I would like to meet the guests.
Anyway, so this is Tate, who is one of the former co-hosts on one of the old networks that I started off on, and then his brother Jayson is here too, I think. So
I am Sam. Hey.
how are
Hi,
you?
Tate. Hi, Jayson.
How are
Hey.
you doing?
Doing good.
So
We're doing real good tonight, I'll tell you.
Tell me.
Enjoying ourselves, having a couple beers.
Sam,
Oh, good.
Playing some video games, petting a dog or two. Life is good.
Sweet, man.
and you gentlemen just started a podcast of your own as well. I understand.
Oh, you better believe it.
So
On Tap Podcast. We talk about a lot of things pop culture. We talk about a lot of movies, games, reviews, anything you could dream of, really, with pop culture. So,
Sweet.
if it's new, we talk about it and we cover it, and we have a good time doing it.
That's what it's all about, man.
And then, I think I'm one of the last of us who is still doing political commentary, at least out of our old network. But even my show is like a hybrid now. So
Yeah, it is.
so
I hear you. We're still fully political over here, but not active in it within the On Tap podcast, if that makes sense.
yeah, that's fine. So you're welcome to spout anything here too, or ask any questions or anything like that. So yeah. So
Sam, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's been a long time though since we've chatted. So
It has. I'm glad to talk to you. We'd love to get you on the show sometime.
I'd love to get you guys. Well, you guys already are on here. So
I guess so.
what am I saying? But
It's an honor, by the way. Glad to be here.
thanks. So it's
As it is for me every time, Sammy. I wanted to say that publicly. Thanks for having me on. I may have been your second choice, but second choice is best choice when it's me.
There you go.
Well, you were well, thanks for standing in for my guests who couldn't make it. So
Yeah, of course, man. said, always
Sam,
a pleasure.
I got to ask you guys, if you don't mind, and we're a little late on the wagon with this, like already, and we're gonna have to wait a little while longer till we cover it on tap. But Spidey is back in the MCU.
Yeah, I was actually going to
I
bring that
saw
up.
that.
I was actually going to bring that up with my previous guest. Also, Apex and I were talking Breaking Bad about a month ago. I don't think El Camino had been announced yet at that point.
It did. That's actually how the conversation started. I had never heard anything about it, and you brought it up, and I was literally almost literally brought to a knee because I didn't even know anything about it. So that
About El
sparked a
Camino?
long
I am
conversation.
so excited for that movie.
Me too.
It's gonna
Me
be wild.
too.
It's gonna be great.
It
Yeah,
is.
I mean, I would have to agree. I I want to say it's the best TV show I've ever seen in my
It's nearly
30
perfect.
long years. It is, yeah. And Vince Gilligan, has got
Apex.
That's his world.
Yeah.
Vince Gilligan. Is Apex still with us?
I think Apex is in a bad sell zone. But anyway, the audience wants to know how we all met and how we connected. That's a long ass story, but I suppose we have some time to tell it.
Sam, me and you go way back.
Yeah, we go back to 2012, I
Long time.
think.
Yeah.
That long? Yeah, so excuse me, Jones Townberry, you're gonna have to excuse my memory. I can't even remember how you found me initially. I
have trouble remembering that too.
Caden?
I can't remember exactly how it happened. All I know is that it's been, like you said, about 2012, 2013, around there.
Yeah, I think you guys found me after the Ben Shapiro interview, and then
Yeah.
and then we had a network called Junior Factor Nation at the time because we were all still in high school at the time, so we were teenagers.
That's a great nation, by the way.
And well, I think that nation is abandoned. It's probably just like Chernobyl.
Well-
so
Then it was Youth Revolt after that, though.
Oh yeah, and then I went on to do NGC kind
Yep.
of on my own, and then that collapsed, and then 2015 happened. I got hired on, well, not hired as in paid, but I got offered to do a college blog that ended up going Never Trump, and then I found I was listening to Joe Rogan, and I discovered this Owen Benjamin character. And as the audience knows how that turned out, there was a whole documentary about that, which I sent Jason the link, and I advised that you guys watch that with beers, so
Noted.
with lots of alcohol.
Yeah,
So-
Sam, I just gotta say though, I'm so happy that we have reconnected and that we're kind of promoting each other's shows now and kind of working together on this. It's really awesome.
Same here. Yeah, so I understood you guys having trouble with iTunes, and yeah, iTunes is really, they're kind of, well, it's my show. They're iTunes is kind of faggy when it comes to episode title requirements now.
Speaking of that, can I tell you what happened with our show?
Sure.
We got rejected because we included in our title, we'd say the title and then we'd say at the end episode 3 or episode 4. And apparently iTunes doesn't let you specify what episode it is in the title.
what?
Which is ridiculous to me.
That's because iTunes now has like a separate tag on their end where they tag episode, numbers. So they don't
Okay.
they don't want the episode name in the title, and that's what I was going to text you, and then I forgot. So
Well, that's why we got rejected, yeah.
yeah,
And,
it's weird. So
Sam, just to go back to how you and Jason connected at first and stuff. Years back, I remember I was watching Jayson do his political podcast and everything, and I think I recorded like one political podcast that I thought I would, be interested in and have fun doing and stuff, which I did. But the point, and it's just such a testament to you, is that you saw that I was trying to start something up, and you reached out an olive branch and tried to lift me up. And I don't know if you remember this or not, but I'll never forget it. And you said, come on my show if you want, like we'll talk. And you were just super supportive when I was super young, just trying to make my own kind of little thing. And it wasn't great, but even still, you were like, hey man, like keep at it. You're doing great. Come on my podcast if you want. I'll give you a shout out. And I mean, that's such a testament to who you are and to your character. And to this day, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, Sam, and even now, like now that we, started on tap and stuff, we can't tell you how much we really, really appreciate you reaching out and, supporting us and promoting our show on your show and, dropping the link in your description. It really, really does mean a lot, and it doesn't go unnoticed.
And we can't wait to have you on our show.
Thank you. And with that, your PayPal transaction is complete. So, no, in all seriousness, though, it is my pleasure, and it's also interesting that we're reconnecting now because like I'm still in the political game somewhat, but I've also, like I said, stepped back. I've stepped back a little bit and kind of like reevaluated where I am as a host. I mean, I've picked up a whole bunch of new influences. Joe Rogan is really a big influence on my podcasting style.
I think he's the most natural podcast style you could ever achieve.
So,
yeah, it's not a. I mean, you can't be, in my personal opinion, you can't be blamed for trying to emulate something that's honest and like true. You know what I mean? He's not perfect, but he's himself, and he does a good job at being fairly neutral and trying to get his guests' information out, which is
I agree.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too, like when he has guests on like Shapiro or someone he might not align with completely on the political spectrum, he respects them and he has a good conversation with them, and the good conversation makes for a good podcast. And I think he's mastered that, and he is definitely someone to look up to in the podcasting world.
I mean, without him, I wouldn't have my audience that I do now, because that's how I got sucked into this whole rabbit hole. So,
well, it's a fun rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Yeah, Jonestown Bear, I see you shouting my name in the chat. What? You're...
Sam, what do we
know who that is?
What do we drink for beer tonight?
What was your question?
I said, I missed this part of the video. What are you drinking for beer tonight?
I'm drinking Goose Island. I'll wrench you, Jonestown Bear. Hang on a sec. Yeah, I'm drinking Goose Island IPA.
Nice. Love the
from
Goose
my
Island.
That's from my neck of the woods.
What's the ABV on that, Sam?
So, what was your question, Jayson?
I said, what's the ABV, the alcohol content on that?
It's
probably 312.
Oh no, it's 6.9. So.
Oh, nice.
That's a good beer.
So yeah, and I had a couple cores before the show, and so.
Sam, it's funny. You know how you were saying Joe Rogan is an influence in the podcast world, and obviously we all agree and stuff. But one of the other influences, who's kind of like the devil on the shoulder in terms of influence in the podcast world, is Uncle Joey.
Oh, I love Uncle Joey.
Oh yeah, Uncle Joey. Well, and I guess as far as who I'm influenced by politically now in terms of podcasting, Gavin McGinnis, just stylistically, is one of my influences. So, sorry.
Honestly, I
So
just love Uncle Joey. I just love watching Uncle Joey because he doesn't give a fuck. He really doesn't care about about his
anything,
language,
really?
about anything.
Yeah. No, Joey Diaz is one of my favorite people to listen to as well, just because I mean, not only does he not give a fuck, but he is so funny, man. He's used his life experience to the fullest as far as when it comes to sharing it with other people, you know.
he's also a pretty good motivational, speaker too. Like I've listened to a few of his podcasts, like where he talked his past mistakes, and his stories are heartbreaking, but they're also very inspirational. Some of them.
He's been
So.
through the ringer, man.
Yeah, I mean, and he's honest about it, and see, like that is the one thing that I think has kind of changed from when we all started. I feel kind of like when we started podcasting, Jayson and Tate, uh, everyone was kind of expected to take on kind of like a persona of sorts.
Yep.
And I was certainly guilty of that to a certain extent. But now I think the podcast sphere has made it so that, like, people can just, be more genuine, I guess.
Yeah, that's definitely the case with us on tap. We just really try to not take on any particular persona, and we just kind of bullshit and talk, and just it's almost like we're not even recording a podcast. It's just as if we're just sitting in a room, all three of us, and talking about pop culture. It's just genuine for us, and I think that's what makes good podcasts.
It is great. I do have to critique Andrew, and I know he's not here, but I do have to shit on his choice of drinks.
Oh, he sees that coming.
What the fuck are you doing drinking White Claw? White Claw, man. So it's
I know.
it's just
That's the thing.
it's seltzer water. So
It is seltzer water. I gotta advocate though. I have been known to enjoy a White Claw or two, but you know what? Actually, probably 10 times out of 10, you'll see me drinking a beer on the On Tap podcast.
the Jonestown there says I was shotgunning White Claw earlier. That's a lie. So
A lie.
my audience loves to bust my balls too. So
That's not true, Sammy.
so you're nice. Well, you're nice to me, and everyone's nice to me, but they all like to bust my chops. So
Sam, you know what I think is really, really cool is that we both got a chance to interview Ben Shapiro.
and then
You know what I mean? How cool is that?
yeah, you got to interview him when he was actually famous. I got to interview him slightly before it was famous, and then
What year did you interview him? Like you said, 2012.
I interviewed him in 2012. The whole reason why I wanted to talk to him, it wasn't because I was interested in Shapiro at all. Andrew Breitbart, as many of you know, I've done a yearly tribute show to Breitbart on the anniversary of his death.
Yep.
Every year. Andrew Breitbart was a huge inspiration to me, and so when I talked to Ben, I simply wanted to talk about how Andrew influenced him, and
Okay.
And Ben, my biggest criticism of Ben is that he does come off as kind of like a snob sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But when I talked to him, he was actually like laughing about Andrew, and like how Andrew was a bit of a joker, and how Andrew never took anything like too seriously, except when it came to like Antifa, and that's kind of me. I like to just joke around and like parody a whole bunch of
Right.
stuff. So
Shapiro, he talks very fast, doesn't he?
yeah, did you have trouble keeping up with him too when you were interviewing him?
If I'm being honest, yeah, a little bit.
So yeah, yeah, the I will say too that I mean Shapiro. I like Ben, but he really it wasn't even that, even before I was a full on Trump supporter. The fact that he went never Trump really did not sit well with me. Just
Yeah,
because.
I mean, I was, as you know, Sam, I was critical of Trump, but I was never Trump. You know.
Same here. But as I said, the conservative blog I was writing for at the time, Red Millennial, may they rest in hell. They went full on Never Trump, and so they basically made me like a full blown MAGA guy. Just
Yep.
I did it to spite them, and the election videos are still the night of the election and the reaction. That's still one of my great pleasures to watch. Just the sheer freak out from the left.
Right.
So.
It's classic. Absolutely classic.
Yeah, Dame Pesos's video of the Young Turks election meltdown is still one of my guilty pleasures to this day from 2016.
I agree 100% with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, let's see.
Hey Sam, I have a question for you.
Go for it.
Kind of jumping from politics to pop culture a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to know what your reaction was when you heard that Spider-Man's back in the MCU. Because I was stoked.
I was like, thank God, basically.
Yeah.
So.
Did you see the Instagram Tom Holland posted?
No, I haven't yet.
Have you seen Wolf of Wall Street?
Oh yeah. Oh yes. So.
Do you know the scene? Do you know the scene where I forget the main character's name,
Yes.
but Leonardo DiCaprio,
Yeah.
when he says, "I'm not fucking leaving," and he gives that speech to his whole crew, he's like, "I'm not leaving."
Yeah.
Tom Holland posted that clip on his Instagram account in regard to the MCU news.
That is perfect. So.
It's legendary.
You know, I know the question wasn't directed at me, but I feel compelled to answer it. I actually wasn't that surprised, just because the only news that I saw about it in the first place was that the deal fell through. But I had a feeling from the get-go that Disney was not going to give up.
Yep.
I mean, without Iron Man, what the fuck do they have? I mean, I know they're banking on Captain Marvel and stuff, but I had a strong feeling that Spider-Man would be back.
I 100% agree. I called that from the beginning. I said, right when I heard that Spider-Man was leaving the MCU, I said that there's no way this is going to be permanent. A deal is going to be made. He's going to be back in the MCU. But I was still, so happy when I heard that he was coming back.
Yeah. Now, if only they can get the Netflix Marvel universe. If they can get the actors back.
Like, you're talking about like Daredevil?
Yeah.
That makes me nervous because I really like Daredevil. I mean, the 3 seasons were kind of hot and cold, but overall, I really liked it. I really liked the Daredevil.
Oh my God! It's probably it's the Breaking Bad of superhero shows. Honestly,
I would put it up there in that same category. What was the? I mean, I guess the Punisher staying on Netflix, but
the Punisher was pretty good. I watched a few episodes of that.
I do like it.
I admire. Let's see. Oh, stream quality updated. Nice. I thought the stream had crashed for a sec, but I guess we actually got a boost. Yeah, I really like John Bernthal as an actor too. So
same here.
Everything I've seen him in, he's really good.
Hey, I have a question for both of you. I'm just kind of curious. Marvel Phase 4, is there any movie in particular that you're really excited about?
Or show?
Nope.
I'm just excited for Disney Plus, so...
Definitely.
You're telling me you're not excited for Strange 2?
I
Go
mean,
ahead, Sam.
I mean, I am, but I'm not like super hyped about it. Um,
Doctor Strange, he's one of my top 5 in the MCU. I love Strange. I thought the first movie was awesome, totally different,
I
and
thought,
and the
yeah,
fact that Strange 2 is going to be a horror is like super intriguing to me. Like in the multiverse, there's so much shit they could do. You kidding me?
Ye-
There's so
Yeah,
much.
I was actually not aware that it was planned to be like a horror, but I mean, the MCU, the extended MCU, movies. I have not kept up with them as much as I did with the comics when I was growing up, because I'm older than Sam, not that much, but I mean, like I still haven't even seen all of Endgame, so. And I didn't see every Marvel movie to date. I've caught some here and there. All the Iron Man movies I saw, and I loved uh, Tony Stark, played by Robert Downey Jr., was fucking perfect from the get go.
Oh
That
yeah.
that got my attention. 10 years ago or whatever, however many years ago that was. But
He
they
is
just came out so frequently that I couldn't keep up.
he is
I
just
kind
about
of fell off.
the most perfect casting you can have as a Marvel character. I mean, Robert Downey as Iron Man is like
nailed it.
It's like peanut butter and jelly. It's perfect. And
Yeah.
Sam, I have a question for you. Did you see Zach Angel shit on Iron Man 3?
yes, I did.
I couldn't believe it.
I have to make a movie recommendation to both of you. I do have to agree with Andrew that if you guys like science fiction, you guys need to watch Blade Runner and 2049. Blade Runner is probably my all-time favorite science fiction movie.
I have heard they're phenomenal movies. I've just never gotten around to watching Blade Runner, especially 2049, which is about a 5-hour movie.
You need to watch Blade Runner first, which is still pretty long, but you guys, well, Jason would like Blade Runner because Blade Runner is kind of a horror movie. So
Is it?
I mean, it's not really a horror, but it does have some like thriller moments to it, and I can't say much more than that without spoiling a 35-year-old movie that still holds up incredibly well. So
2049 is the one they just came out with a couple years ago, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
um, yeah. So for everyone that's wondering why I'm not doing political talk, I did political talk on Thursday's show. I was planning on talking about pop culture stuff anyway on tonight, but anyway. Also, Jayson and Tate, thanks for saving me money on Ad Astra.
Oh God.
I had no interest in seeing it, uh, and I listened to your review just because I don't care about spoiler reviews at this point. If I
What a
if I like it, I'll still go see it, but it just sounded as dumb as I thought it would be. So
what a pit of a movie.
yeah, that's what I've heard. Um, now,
Seems to be more and more of that shit these days.
yeah, I will say though, the one movie franchise that I have been impressed with, in terms of new movie franchises that have come out within the last few years, is John Wick.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Sam, I'm embarrassed to say that I've only seen the first one.
Um, well, at least you've seen one of them. I think one is still the best.
I love the first one.
Yeah, the first one's excellent, and I've actually not seen the third one yet myself. And the second one, if I remember correctly, I've only seen like the second 3/4 of. Like I've missed the beginning because it's been on HBO, and I don't own any of them on Blu-ray or anything. But the first one is a great movie, exceptional movie in my opinion.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I think it was you who said You just wanted to hang out with Mark Ruffalo,
I think that was me.
or yeah, okay. I feel the same way about Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves is just a guy
Yeah.
who I want to hang out with. I've admired him for a
Keanu
long
Reeves right
time.
now he's America's sweetheart.
He really
Tell you,
is.
I'll tell you what. I'm pretty excited. I mean, the John Wick movies are excellent. Again, I haven't seen the third one, but I've seen enough reviews and comments about it to know that it's on par with the first two. But I'm really stoked to see what they're doing with Bill and Ted's newest adventure, for one, and the Matrix, the new Matrix, because they're doing both. Keanu Reeves is doing both of those
Oh yeah,
in the near future.
Matrix 4. So
Yep, yep. According to Keanu, it's very ambitious in like all capital letters. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but
I'm I'm glad that they're bringing him back rather than just rebooting it like they were talking a few years ago. We do not need another movie franchise reboot. I'm sorry, but there are already way too many of those.
well, yeah. I mean, if there's anything that's kind of jaded me to pop culture, it's that. Everything that I watched growing up has been, they think they can do it better and they just crush it. There's actually one of my favorite pop culture, well, mostly movie and TV show reviewers on YouTube is called The Critical Drinker. And he's an Irishman that plays like he's drunk when he does his reviews, but he's really eloquent and he's very well spoken. He's a writer. I don't know. I'm not sure what he's written, but I know he's written books and stuff. And he nails it every time every time he puts a review out about something. It informs my opinion as to whether or not it's worth my time. Because again, I don't care about spoilers either for the most part. If because whether you watch it on a video or one of your friends tells you about it, spoilers it's fine. A lot of movies. Again, when I was growing up, there was a lot of things that you definitely didn't want spoiled. But nowadays, it's like it's too the odds don't seem to be in your favor that it's going to be worth your time. So I'll take the spoilers over, to know that it's worth watching than to go into it blind and just leave the theater, you know, just mad or upset or thoroughly unimpressed or whatever. Disgusted is another word that I would use for a lot of these reboots.
Oh yeah, the Red Dawn reboot. Yeah, Chris Kaufman in the chat goes, they messed up the Red Dawn reboot. Yeah, that movie never existed in my mind. So
Yeah, there's a lot of those, and I mean I don't know. I guess it speaks to our time that Disney, instead of coming up with new shit, I mean, I guess they've got a couple of new IPs as far as their kids movies go, but the live action remakes of every fucking animated movie that they ever made is just, it makes me sick, man. Like some of them I'm sure could be good, but like, why do you have to I mean, why do you think you can do it better now than it, like The Lion King, widely acclaimed as one of the best Disney movies ever. They anthropomorphize some real life lions that can't emote, and I mean, I don't know. It's it's just the lack of creativity, the lack of ambition, originality. Yeah, the lack of risk taking.
Yep.
All that shit that made movies. Like The Thing, for example, like and even Alien, the original Alien, all mostly practical effects, and really ambitious and really artistic, and they stand on their own 2 feet even now, 30 plus years later.
Hey, well, Sam, Tate and I gotta take off, so we gotta say goodbye. Unfortunately.
all right, man. Real quick, plug your show. Real quick, where can we find you? Where can we find you guys at?
Oh boy, yeah, we are at YouTube, Spotify, and Twitter, and Instagram. The handles are something Jayson will fill you in on because I don't know them off the top of my head.
I honestly don't know them off the top of my head either. Here's what you
Well,
do.
it's
Go to
on tap, right?
Yeah, it's called On Tap. If you want to find the Spotify page, Sam, I think you dropped the link in one of your podcasts a few weeks ago. It might have been last week.
Yeah, I'll drop it again this week too. So
Okay, that'd be awesome.
I do know, though, I think our Twitter is On Tap Official.
We have a bunch of different ones for our different social media accounts because,
we're working on the continuity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
well, I'm here to help with that. So
sounds good. Yeah, if you could drop it in the description, that'd be great. We'd really appreciate it. And thanks so much for having us on. It was great talking with you.
Sam, it's always great having a conversation with you, man.
Oh, you're welcome. And feel free to come back anytime. I know that a lot of people still have questions about our, past relations. So maybe we'll need to take notes and do that stuff because I do want to answer people's questions about that. But you're asking me to go back into the memory banks with that, folks, and a lot has happened.
And Sam, we'll have you on our show so that you can call Andrew out for having White Claws.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting when Andrew and I finally meet. So, but anyway, guys, take care and thanks for coming on. So,
all right, fellas, have a good night. It's nice talking to you.
Sam, take it easy, man. Good to talk to you, and Apex, good to talk to you too, man.
You as well. I'll be subbing.
All right. Be easy, guys. Take care.
So, and Apex, are you still there?
I am still fucking here, brother.
Good. So, on to pressing things, though. So, Jonestown Bear is in here.
Yep.
I know that. I haven't talked to Owen in 3 weeks. Or 4 weeks. I've been good, but you bears, if any of you are listening to this still, you guys got jovial Sam. Now you're gonna get angry. Well, not angry, but do you guys not find it weird at all that Owen hasn't been banned from YouTube permanently? That's all I'm gonna ask.
Well, again, like I was saying before, your buddies joined the call, which I was happy to talk to him and happy to change the subject. I haven't really thought much about Owen in the last few weeks myself. I've kind of cut myself off completely just to kind of recharge the batteries and really, center my thoughts and where because I've gotten away from my original format where I would be kind of non-biased, and I've had some of my friends in real life that have been subscribed to my channel since I first started it fucking like 8 years ago and would do gaming shit that are like, I watch all your videos, man, and I can't believe some of the things that you say about this dude. Things like calling him a faggot and things like that, which all things that I feel, but I originally started doing the commentaries by being kind of not so much neutral, but kind of like, okay, I get what you're saying there, Owen, but this or that, and I've found myself getting more and more angry, which anybody would have the right to. But what I was saying though is some of the commenters that I get are so deluded, man. They, I feel like the people that can be pulled from the fire are probably out of the fire, whether by my hand or Johnny's hand or by their own, just good sense kicking in and going, wait a minute, this is not what I thought it was. And everybody that's left are, I don't think there's kids necessarily in his audience, but I think there's a lot of younger people, 18, 19, early 20s, and maybe even younger than that, that are lost and are, internet warriors. And they, the fact that Owen doesn't get banned, they see as a victory because we get banned and Owen doesn't. So they don't see anything wrong with that. They see that as more evidence that Owen is right. and that I'm a gamma that whose life must be so miserable because all I do is make videos about Owen. Well, you can say what you want about other people, but it's the looking into the mirror part that these people seem to have trouble with. I have no delusions about myself and my I mean, I've been quite open with you and with other people about my past and the life that I live. I mean, am I supremely happy? No, but I am not. So like, I'm not the person that Vox Day describes as his telltale gamma. I mean, whatever you want to call it, or Owen for that matter. I mean, I have a pretty happy life. There are things that I would change, but I feel like anybody on this planet would be a liar if they said otherwise, that there weren't things about their life that they would change or that they would do differently or whatever. But I think that trying to reason with these people is a fool's errand almost at this point. So that's kind of why I've been on an extra long hiatus, just trying to figure out what exactly the next step for me is, because I like making the videos, I like laughing at him, because he is whether they like it or not, he is one of the funniest people on YouTube, just not for jokes that he tells, but because he's so Owen. And I mean, even if I just turned into just a clip channel that clips the bits in between all his hours long nonsense to say, just to get him saying the things that he says, which is another primary goal has always been a primary goal of my channel, because it's when you listen to him for 2 hours and somewhere in there for 5 minutes he goes on a rant about hurting people or killing people or demonizing people or whatever the case may be. I still want to clip that, and I want people to see that this is what he's actually talking about.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah. When I mean, the reason I've taken a break from Owen is like partially because he gets to be nauseating after a while, but also
yeah,
I want people to really know what this show actually is, other than the Owen Benjamin Rant show, which is, me covering politics and pop culture. And I mean, like, you're right. Owen does inspire like a lot of young people too, and like, I would rather they watch me though, because I am a young person, around their age, and like, I'm trying to
right.
provide them with the same thing that they think they're getting with Owen, which is, entertainment
Exactly.
and, pop culture stuff too. So, I just want people to have a good
and
time
and
and
just
not hurt anyone. That's it. So,
Well, yeah, you're just trying to find your way in the world, like most of us, and like most of them. The only difference is you do it with minimal vitriol. I would say without any vitriol. I don't think I've ever seen or heard you say anything that has made me cringe. Anything even close to the most mild things that comes out of Owen's mouth. But again, I think that's why it's this whole internet meme culture. He's like trying to embody the meme culture and the conservative movement, and uh, you know, he's so fake. He's so see-through to me and you and anybody that has some sense about them and some wherewithal. But yeah, I mean, I think I don't know, dude. I think you're right. You're right. You especially of any of us have a right to take a hiatus, because again, you can't. The Whitfield report isn't the Owen Benjamin report. It's the Whitfield report. You talk about things that you're passionate about.
the reason I focused so much on Owen though is because maybe he's not so much anymore, but I did believe at a point that he was a legitimate threat to conservatism, because he was an effective LARPer for a while. I will give him that. And
Yeah.
again, thanks to the late Johnny Arcade, or whatever alias he's masquerading, because you really helped me, and thanks to you, Apex, together we exposed one of the biggest, frauds in the conservative movement ever, I think. And I mean, like, I do like to make fun of the left and kind of criticize them, but I also try and go after the negatory people on our side too when I see fit. So
Absolutely. Well, and that's what makes for good, commentary, political or otherwise, whether we're talking about, pop culture or Donald Trump or anything in between those two things. I mean, you know, that's I think what drives me so crazy about Owen and has for a long time. It's his hardline stance, and that's one of the things. Along with again, it all goes back to Johnny Arcade and the work that he's done.
it's
Uh,
it's
Lord rest his channel.
it's
But
starting to drive me some crazy about some other people too. But all I will say on that is go subscribe to Philip Wave Radio. So
yeah, go subscribe to Philip Wave Radio. That's talk about entertainment, dude. Holy shit. Which, by the way, I was saying in Discord earlier, we should get the Mersh from Philip Wave Radio on the Whitfield Report for an interview. That would be absolute gold content.
yeah, well he sounds like Rick and Morty. So
It reminds me of Beavis and Butthead, kind of, honestly. But either
that,
way,
that's a little before my time, maybe. But
that's right up my alley, man.
yeah,
But no, what I just got a refresh of what I was trying to say a few minutes ago. In that Owen has reverted back to a lot of his old ways and I think this is a testament to the work that Johnny has done. And I don't claim any responsibility for any of this, but Owen gets put under pressure by the things that Johnny exposes, from a podcast that Owen did a year ago or 2 years ago, and mirroring it with what he said yesterday or today or even a week ago, and how, whether it be that he is a Hillary supporter or that he's pro-abortion or that he's, used to go to gay bars with his friend to try and get laid or whatever the quote was. You can see it in his chat, and it affects him whether he likes it or not. And it's forced him into, kind of making bolder moves. And he's kind of reverted back to, he still claims to be, a devout Christian and all these other things, but the veneer is falling.
My favorite Bible is the one in my living room. So
yeah. When's the last time you read the Bible, Owen? Well, now you're banned because I can see jabs coming before the hooks, and that was a jab. What? So yeah. I mean, I don't think, to be honest with you, I don't think he's got a whole lot of time left. He may surprise me, and he may surprise us all, but I think with the minimal pressure put on him by people like me and people like the fantastic Jonestown Bear and Johnny Arcade, rest his channel. His viewers see that shit. It ends up in their feed, and I know that because I was one of them. Johnny Arcade videos popped into my YouTube feed long before. Well, not long before, but before I was ever anti-Owen. I mean, I was very much an Owen fan. And I watched the first couple of vids that popped up, and I didn't comment, but I didn't like it. Even the porcelain documentary, I could only watch like the first couple of minutes of it when it first came out, and I was fucking enraged because I'm like, oh, they're just fucking haters trying to hate on this dude that I like. And again, I was deluded at the time, and now I know better. But those little things spark what's left of people's brain cells to start firing again and go, wait a second. So they'll end up in his channel or in his chat and say, hey, what about this, Owen? What about that? You said this and you said that. And, I can't tell you. I wouldn't even dare to guess how many people have been banned from his chat. But I would also wager that a good 90% of them that do get banned, that aren't just trolls using alt accounts, are like, well, fuck this dude, and either just quit watching him entirely or end up on our side of the fence. You
Yeah.
know?
Hey, QAnon in chat. I'm not digging on you. I haven't said anything about you. But um, yeah, we're cool here. Look. I've actually invited Owen on the Whitfield report. His still stands, but I want him. I'd like for Owen to come on the podcast. I will have him on, but I would also like for him to hash it out with Johnny Arcade on stream or you know, and have them talk things over. So
And see what I know about Owen, and this again is the biggest thing that bothers me about him. For all the things that he says and all the things that he does, he is a liar to himself and therefore to everybody else. There's no way I could see under any circumstances he would do that, because he would have to admit fault. And that's one thing I don't think we will ever see him do, unless, I mean, barring some extreme circumstances that I wouldn't wish upon him necessarily. But that would take a level of humility that I seriously don't think that he's capable of. And that, again, is a big problem, not just with Owen, but with a lot of people that I know in life. They're delusional. They are liars. They lie to themselves about their place in the world and their influence on it, and their position within it. Like, confidence is a good thing, but there's also a such thing as delusion, and that's where I think Owen stands, because he had a privileged upbringing and got to spend, his first 20 plus years in Hollywood and failed at it. Now he's telling kids not to pursue anything to do with it because he had a bad experience and didn't make it as far as he felt he should have. Well, you say what you will about Hollywood, and most of it would justifiably be bad, but that's why we're at where we are, because in the entertainment industry and the shit coming out of it, it's because it's it's think tank circle jerks, room wax, with dudes just looking to make, as the whole infinite growth model. And I don't know where exactly where I was going with that, but I mean, it bothers me that the lack of humility he has, and the lack of understanding that he has for really anything of consequence to people outside of himself. Again, it goes back to the gummy thing. It never even crossed his mind that doxing people on stream and accusing them of attempted murder was a bad idea, because he thought he was in danger. Same with Alan Powell. He pulled out he pulled out the blood red carpet for Alan after one video because he thought he was in danger, or he used it as an excuse to claim to be in danger. And whether he was actively trying to get his audience to do something about it is kind of irrelevant. The fact that he did it and has had no remorse about it is my problem. That's, again, goes back to the root of what drew me to start making videos in the first place.
yeah, I'll just say this, coming from someone who has been doing political commentary longer than Owen, legitimately. I mean, I'm younger than Owen, but in terms of the politics game, I'm older than Owen. I don't mean that as I don't mean that as a dig either, but like, I I I wanted to help Owen when he first started because I saw a lot of potential. But there were just certain little things that, like, dude, do you really need to say the N word, like, 50,000 times a day on Twitter? That's not, like the free speech I get what he was trying to do originally with the free speech argument, but the free speech argument is more about ideas rather than just saying
Yep.
whatever. And I feel like he never really he kind of he kind of jumped before he learned how to walk, if that. And someone put this pretty well the other day. It was one of my friends who watched the Porcelain doc, and he said most of us took like one or two red pills and got woken up. Owen took the whole fucking bottle of red pills and just shoved it in his mouth and overdosed on
More than likely up his ass, though. To be honest with you, let's be real, Sam. He shoved that bottle of red pills up his ass. We know that's what he likes.
Oh yeah, I still would like him to debate. Are you still there, Apex?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yeah, the screen on your end just went black. That was interesting. But
Oh, that's because I'm turning my camera on.
oh, okay. Um what I was going to say is Owen had a lot of potential, and he wants to say that everyone is a sodomite, but yet like he won't debate the one actual sodomite that we have in the conservative movement, which is Milo. So
Well, yeah, right. Yeah, he hates Milo.
yeah. So
Um, but yeah, man, I don't know. Again, I think I'm still on the fence about all this. I don't know what the future holds, but I do have to admit that Johnny was right all along when he was talking about, well, fuck trying to wake people up, man. I'm just trying to shame Owen off the internet. Like if that was if I had enough confidence to think that I could do something that serious, then that's where I would be. That's where my mindset would go from here, because he's not doing anybody, including himself or his family, any good, short of the money that he's bringing in right now. I think long term is going to be more. It's going to cause more damage than all of the collective good throughout the time that he's been, doing what he does.
unless
And go ahead.
go ahead. I was just gonna say I'm at the point where like I don't even. I mean, I don't. I don't necessarily like Owen, but I don't want anything to happen to him. I'm at the point now where like what I want to do is I just want to entertain people, and if the Bears want to come in and just like watch my streams and watch me do like some political stuff and then movie reviews, like I talk about the Greta Thunberg thing, like if you want to yeah, I know that was cringe. I would rather cover
Gross.
stuff
That's
like
just
that.
gross,
So,
man.
I feel
Yeah,
bad for that kid. She's being used as a political puppet. She is a political puppet, I should say.
yeah, yeah, dude. That honestly, when I watched that, like, it seriously made me woozy, like dizzy and sick to my stomach watching it, because I mean, I don't know, like that's another thing that some of my friends have pointed out. Well, it's not anything new. People have used kids in this manner for as long as I've been alive. Whether we're going back to the Saudis, dumping babies out of incubators, and everywhere in between. It's usually always lies and someone being handled by somebody else. And I don't know enough about that girl to know who could be controlling her, but it just made me sick watching her read it off and faking the whole thing makes me just talk about, I mean, cringe. That's like the definition of cringe.
Well,
in my book.
as George Carlin said, the human race is going to destroy itself long before global warming does. So,
Yeah, that's a good quote.
I mean, I think I'll be long and dead of old age before the Earth ends. But who knows? I mean, we have a lot more problems than just global warming. So there are
Yeah, I would agree.
so
Uh, Climate change is a thing. It's documented as far back as geology can scientifically measure. The climate has always changed. So, I mean, are we affecting it? Yes, sure we are. But there are more pressing matters, I think. And I have one of my closest friends is a how do I put it? He is the staunchest anti-Trump person that I've ever met in real life, and I've known this dude for 15 years. And every time we talk, he lives about 1,000 miles away from me now, and he's about to have his first kid. Um, and he works a good job for the oil industry of all things. But you know, every time we talk, it always comes back to the same thing. We won't be talking politics at all. But he will. It's like it's Trump derangement syndrome. It's like the textbook definition. He thinks that,
yes.
and it actually kind of makes my head hurt, dude, because I'm not the most politically savvy person. I pay attention as much as I can, but I've got other more important things. I'm trying to get my own shit together, and again, I try to pay attention to the important things, and I do my research on stuff that I find important. But I don't have all the answers for him. But he also refuses to take any of the answers that I give him. It's always, I mean, it's to the degree that he is a Russian. Trump is a Russian agent, and is only in politics for his own personal benefit. And I mean, there may be some truth to some of that, not the Russian part, obviously. That's absolute fucking nonsense. And I don't know how many different ways I can say this to him. But it really makes me sad to someone that I have such a bond with, that goes back so far, that is so polar opposite from me on almost everything politically, which just makes me think that the whole political game is exactly that. It's just a game. It's meant, and it's working to divide friends and family and brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers, and
It is.
they're you know what I mean. And that's the only point that I've been able to hammer home to him anyway, is that say what you want about Trump, but he's our president, dude. And the whole game is fucking rigged.
Yep.
But to say that Trump is worse than Obama, or that Trump is worse than Hillary would have been, just I can't even, my brain does not work that well. I can't even comprehend those thoughts.
Neither can I.
And I don't, I'm not I'm not like the biggest Trump supporter. There's a lot that he has said and done that I have to scratch my head on. But when it's all said and done, I don't care what the man says. I care about what he does. Evil Eric, actually, I don't remember when or where he said this, but he said something like, most of the complaints that people have about Trump are his social. It's all social shit, like the grabber by the pussy and the various other things, that he said. But when it comes down to policy and what he's doing for the country, that's what matters, and that's where I support him. And that's, I mean, I couldn't say it any better myself. And that's kind of where I feel myself being right now, and like the idea that I should go and strap a fucking black mask on my face and go start hitting people with bike locks just because they wear a MAGA hat, or they have more conservative values than I think they should, is just, it's astonishing to me. And we're not talking about a dumb person, my friend here. He's among the smartest people I know, but he lives down in Oklahoma, and in a pretty liberal area, and he seems to think that, I don't know. I mean, the conversation would literally be reversed if Hillary were president. He would be forever Hillary, and I would be a never Hillary. I would be like, dude, how can you not see all this evil shit that she's done and is doing? Just like he's trying to convince me that Trump is the embodiment of Satan on fucking earth, and I just can't endorse that. He's a person, and maybe the job is too much for one person at this point in humanity's timeline. Like, that's another thing that Joe Rogan has said that I don't know that I fully agree with, but it makes a lot of sense just on its face that the idea. Oh yeah.
Future Nobody is here and he's already starting fights. So,
Future.
Future's just mad that Ellen beat him to getting Amy pregnant. That's what OJ's White Bronco says. So, I mean, honestly, Amy, Amy came on to me once, so not really, but yeah, Alan's a good guy. I want to get Alan on the show too at some
Alan is a
point.
good guy is an understatement. Alan is a fucking hero among cowards.
He also knows how to cook too, which
Hey, I know how to cook too.
yeah, well I know how to cook a little bit, so uh Near was telling me Near was trying to get me to do like a cooking show for a while. So have
Dude,
you?
how epic would that be? The Sam Whitfield cooking hour.
Well, there's already like plenty of cooking YouTube channels that I love. Sam the Cooking Guy is one of them. So
Yeah, we could cook some meth for YouTube. That's a Jonestown Bear suggestion.
what's cook Jonestown Bear?
He said cook meth.
I am the one who knocks. So I don't think Jonestown Bear has actually seen Breaking Bad, which is I could be wrong, but
I don't see how he couldn't have. Maybe, I suppose, but
oh my. So yeah, I am stoked that show is coming back. Or no, not that the show is coming back, but that El Camino is coming out. So um
well, no, Jonestown Bear, you wouldn't cook the whole batch in an hour. You'd have to stretch that shit out.
not
Step by step, episode at a time, man. Come on, you know how
not
YouTube works.
not unless you were not unless you were Heisenberg. So um Aaron Paul though is just a great actor in general. He is very underrated.
Yeah, I would agree. He's the probably the second best part of that show. Uh, I've seen actually some reviews where they talk about how Jesse's arc throughout the show is like a dark mirror to the Jesus story arc, like a Jesus type story arc. I can't remember. I can't remember who the channel was, but I found it pretty interesting. But yeah, no, I'm over the moon that they're doing this movie. It's too bad that it's a movie and not like a series, but hopefully it's like hopefully they can
Jo-
tie some shit together. You know what I mean?
yeah, Jonestown Bear goes, bitch, I lived Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Fair enough, Jonestown. So did you have a criminal lawyer though? That's my question. And I don't mean just like a criminal lawyer. I mean a criminal lawyer.
Like a lawyer who is a criminal.
Yeah, well, that's how Jesse introduces Saul Goodman. So,
Right. Oh man. But yeah, you watched Mindhunter yet?
I'm going to. I'm finishing up. I just watched The Lincoln Lawyer the other night. That movie with Matthew McConaughey. That was good. So,
I am not familiar with that.
Sam's channel needs to switch to the Whitfield review. Otherwise, the big conservative news purge on YouTube will kill this. I mean, yeah,
Yeah, I've thought that too.
I do agree with QAnon. I mean, I've kind of made it safe somewhat in terms of content. So, if basically if Dennis Miller gets kicked off YouTube, then I'm in trouble. So, oh hi puppy, or I hope that
It's
was
a kitty. It's
oh
my kitty. She's just a big cat.
oh I was gonna say that's a big cat. So
Yeah, she's my behemoth. She brings me squirrels every day, and she has no tail. I found her that way.
so
But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I think, shit, I don't know what I think. I think that next weekend is going to be interesting. I still don't know exactly what's going to go down or what I have planned. But that theater is too close to not at least go and try and do like man on the street interviews with people before and after. Um, attending Owen's show
I've
and
had
just
yeah. I've had
oh,
people tell me I should do man on the street in general. I don't have the setup to do that, so
yeah. Well, neither do I, but I have a phone and it records audio and video, so
same
that's
here.
that's what I that's what I plan on doing.
OJ's White Bronco. Apex is a cat lady.
Yeah, yeah, motherfucker. What do you got to say about it? I'm a gamma.
So
My cat is a lady. She's a beast too. I love pussy. That's all. In all forms. Four-legged, two-legged, whatever.
I I. I love pussy too. Yeah, that's gonna get me banned, taken out of context. So, I just
I just realized how that sounded as it came out of my mouth. I don't care.
no. Honestly though, I could do this. I love. See, the thing about Trump is, as weird as he is, he does sometimes reflect my inner monologue. Like when he says, "I love women." Okay, I just love women. I'm like, I got it, Donald. I'm the same way.
Yeah,
I
for
love
sure.
women as well. So
I mean, I think any red-blooded man would have to agree with that for the most part. I'm one of them, you know.
the fact that feminists want to disband NFL cheerleaders, that is a crying shame. So that is going to be my next charity cause. Save the NFL cheerleaders. Probably. So, but anyway, Apex. Well, do you have any other? Do you have any topics you want to bring up, or anything I should mention? It's almost midnight here, so we're close to the end of our 2 hour run here. But
No, man, it's been 2 hours already. That's crazy. No, I don't, man. I'm just here to chat with you. I don't. I'm aimless. I have no no topics. I was gonna ask you your take, well, but it seems pretty obvious, which is the reason I haven't brought it up. But the most recent round of impeachment talks, what your thoughts on all that was. But again, it
the
seems pretty
impeachment
obvious.
talks. Yeah, let me cover that. Impeachment talks.
Well, let me put it to you. Let me put it to you this way. I watched. I don't know if you're familiar with Razor Fist on YouTube, but he's
I
one
am
of
a
my
little
favorite.
bit.
He's one of my favorite commentators in general, just because he's. I like his style. But he posted a video talking about it just a couple of days ago, like right after Pelosi, went on TV and was talking about it. And he seems to think that, or at least his idea is that, aside from all the 4D chess memes and all that other shit, he thinks there's no way that Trump didn't like set this up in some form or fashion to give himself a win, knowing how the media would react and how the Democrats would react to. Because I mean, the transcript, he released the transcript, right? And then they wanted more of it, so they gave him, they edited out the ums and the uhs and the ands, originally, and gave him the whole thing, and nothing that they claimed was in there is in there. So it just it seems like again, according to Razor Fist, is like, it just seems kind of, I don't know, I can't remember the exact way he worded it, but I found it fascinating because they keep pulling this fucking weapon out and shooting themselves in the foot, whether it be impeachment or Russia or whatever else. Now he's a Ukrainian agent. So what happened to Russia? I mean, it wasn't. I feel like it was fucking a week ago that he was still, excuse me, he was still a Russian agent.
Here's my big question: Why are we flashbacking to the 1980s all of this sudden? Like I'm hearing Russia, Ukraine, and like. Granted, back in 2016, I did say during the election that that Trump would be our generation's Ronald Reagan in the 80s, and that I was glad that 80s nostalgia was coming back, but for God's sakes, I did not expect 80s nostalgia to come back this hard to where we were talking about in our foreign policy. So
yeah, right. I mean, I don't know. I think however it all came about, I feel like just like the Mueller report, and just like basically almost everything they've tried to use against the president is going to get him reelected in the long run. Seriously, I feel like that's the one thing that makes sense, being so close to 2020. Where it's like, well, there's a lot of gray area. People that aren't Trump supporters would vote for somebody that wasn't Hillary and also not Donald Trump. He's stacking the cards. The cards are stacking in his favor. The more they try to bury him unjustly. And that's the other thing that I stand on. It's like, when the whole establishment is going so hard at somebody with no coming to no fruition whatsoever, that tells me, I don't know all the facts, but it tells me enough to know that I don't want that person to get wiped off the planet, because there's something going on there.
Well,
whether he's, go ahead.
Well, when you have apolitical friends too, like I do, calling me this week and going, I don't see what the big deal with Ukraine is, in general. Why are they important? There's nothing there. The left is acting like Ukraine is some big scandal, but there may be 0.1% of the population that cares about Ukraine, but the rest of people don't, and so I don't think it's as much a scandal as people in the media are making it out to be. So.
Well, I mean, wasn't the whole thing that they, Trump, the story from the Democrats was that Trump offered a quid pro quo to the Ukrainian president to offer up damning information on Joe Biden's son, or something to that degree, or they he wanted him to remove somebody from Ukrainian office in order to again throw a wrench in the Biden family's gears, because Joe Biden's son is like a CEO of a Ukrainian fucking company, I think, or something like that, man. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, okay. For all the people freaking out about that I brought up Reagan, I'm not saying that Reagan is perfect. I'm just what I was speaking more to the fact that we're living in like a 1980s kind of like nostalgia era again, and that yeah. So, uh, if you've seen my reviews on Narcos, you know that I do have some criticisms of Reagan too, specifically with the drug war. But
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah, definitely.
yeah. So,
Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much that was the only other thing that I actually wanted to talk to you about, but I would have been happy to have that conversation elsewhere, just because I wanted your.
oh no,
Uh,
I'm always happy to have it. So and
oh well, Alan actually hits it right on the head. He says first time I heard of the newest impeachment agenda, I was like, wow, they must really not be confident in winning in 2020 if they're trying to impeach him right now before his term ends, and
yeah.
that's.
Oh yeah, that's a good point too. Well, here's the other thing too. The one candidate who I would want to see in the Dems, they're not gonna allow to even have a chance in the spotlight. Um, and that's Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard is the only. I'm not endorsing her, but I much prefer Trump over her. But Tulsi is the least obnoxious. Like I would actually give Tulsi a time of day to listen to what she has to say.
Right.
Uh, n- Everyone else is just I don't take him seriously, at all. So
Well, there's not much to take seriously. But yeah, I'll let you go, man. It's always a pleasure to come on and talk to you, man. I actually miss doing it. I'd like to do it more often. So
thanks for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. So
yeah.
it's a pleasure as always. So
All right. Well, much love, man. I hope you have a great night. Chat. Much love to you guys. We'll see you guys soon.
all right, thank you.
All right. Good night, man. Yep.
Alrighty, folks, and let's see. Let's collapse the windows here. Okay, folks, and with that in mind, we are about 2 hours in, and well, 1 hour and 45 minutes. So I think we're gonna call it a night here. We've had a good show, and I want to thank everyone for coming in and joining me tonight. Thanks to everyone who has subscribed, and thanks to all the new folks who have come in too. So 07 to y'all. Good night. God bless. God save this great nation. God, freedom, legacy in that order, as Mr. John Nero likes to say. And from all of us here at NGC Studios, have a good night. God bless, and God save this great nation. I'll see you next time on the Whitfield Report.